A wonderful, wonderful week. I wanted to take a look at Sefer Bamidbar. We have in Chutz La'aretz we're learning Parshas Beha'alotcha, and Eretz Yisrael we're learning Parshas Shlach, and there certainly is a common theme that binds the two, because in Parshas Beha'alotcha we have what I would call the fundamental shift, the turning point of perhaps the entire Chumash, but certainly all of Sefer Bamidbar. In fact, Chazal tell us that the Parsha Vayhi ben So Haaron, those few little psukim, are a Parsha Bifnei Atzmo, which means that Sefer Bamidbar is really divided into three separate parshas: before Vayhi ben Saron, and then what follows. And you take a look what Chazal mean when they say it's a Parsha Bifnei Atzmo, those two short little psukim, is it identifies a fundamental turning point, because Bnei Yisrael was on their way. The camp was set up. They're on their way to enter into Eretz Yisrael, to do milchama with the Shivas Ha'amimim, and to conquer the land. Vayhi ben Saron is there at Tfilas Haderech, and it gets derailed. And the rest of the Sefer is problem after problem. We're opened up. We're told Vayhi ha'am ki misonanim ra b'oznei Hashem. They complain. They murmur. They want meat. Kivros Hatava, and one thing leads to another until we get to this week's Parsha in Eretz Yisrael, Parsha Shlach, the Meraglim. Next week we have Korach, Mei Meriva, one thing after another. And is there any theme that kind of ties us together? So we read in Parsha Shlach that after the report came back from the Meraglim, so the nation was quite upset. Vatisa kol ha'eda vayidnu es kolam vayifku ha'am balaylahu. And the nation cries this night. They see that this is not going to work out. The Eretz Yisrael is full of giants, and we are vanehi beinenu kechagavim. We're mere grasshoppers. How can we possibly overcome this? And there's a very famous Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin Daf Kuf Daled Mid Beis, which tells us that here Bnei Yisrael were crying tears of chinam. These are unnecessary tears. Hashem was going to take care of it when they march into Eretz Yisrael. Don't worry about these so-called giants. I got you covered. Now you're crying tears bechia shel chinam. But in the future, on this very day, because the report came back from the Meraglim on Tisha B'Av, on this very day, you're going to have a bechia ladoros. And Tisha B'Av is going to be a day where we cry year after year after year for the Churban Bayis Rishon, for the Churban Bayis Sheni, for the expulsion from Spain, for the many, many overwhelming tragedies that our people have experienced. And when you think about it, when you look at these psukim, so what emerges is something very, very stunning, is that things were okay, but a attitude, how do you see this glass? Is it half empty or half full? That changes everything. Bnei Yisrael in the Midbar, that is a idyllic situation. Man coming down every single day, clothing not getting worn out, a unique sense of Hashgachas Hashem. Yet in that context, but we remember the multi-flavored foods of Mitzrayim. Man every day can perhaps get stale. Midbar perhaps gets boring. Vayhi ha'am ki misonanim. And that is the direct linkage into the Parsha of the Meraglim, because it's the same exact story. In the Parsha of the Meraglim, once again, true, the people were giants. And on the one hand, you can get intimidated, you can get overwhelmed, you can look at it with a jaundiced eye and say, no, we can't. Or understanding the unique Hashgachas Hashem that's been with Klal Yisrael since Yetzias Mitzrayim, Eser Makos, Kriyas Yamsuf, Amalek, Mon, the whole story. Of course we'll defeat. Of course we'll overcome. Of course we will succeed. Everything is a function of the unique set of glasses that you're wearing. Are you looking at this as, wow, tremendous sense of Hashgachas Hashem, or Rachmana litzlan, we can't. We'll never do it. We'll never succeed. Language is so crucial, that how you look at things, your outlook, your attitude, changes everything from tremendously optimistic success to what will emerge as dire failure. I started reading a book over Chag HaShavuos. It's a wonderful book. It's really an autobiography by Rav Shalom Gold, and it's his story from his birth in Williamsburg, growing up in Williamsburg, and his travels to where he settled in Yerushalayim, a tremendously inspiring person and a beautifully inspiring sefer. And he points out that he was a Rav in West Hempstead, in his first drasha to the shul in West Hempstead, he makes this point in a very special way, in a unique way. He points out that when the Torah describes Har Grizim and Har Eval, it goes through great detail about the mountains, about their specifics, about their height and everything else, how the camp was exactly set up. And in contrast, when the Torah speaks about Yerushalayim, over and over and over again, it never mentions its name. We don't know anything about Yerushalayim. It just refers to it as the Makom Asher Yivchar Hashem, the place where Hashem will choose. And over 20 times. It doesn't mention Yerushalayim by name. What's the Torah afraid of? Just say the word Yerushalayim. Why is that omitted over and over again? Yet when it comes to Har Grizim, Har Eval, you have great detail. It's very, very striking. Why couldn't the Torah tell us this name Yerushalayim? So he explains it very, very fundamentally, so I think it directly relates to a lot of the things we've been discussing. And that is that the Kedusha of Yerushalayim, Hamakom Asher Yivchar Hashem, true, Hashem is going to choose that place. But ultimately, the Mekadesh of Yerushalayim is Klal Yisrael, is when we build a Beis HaMikdash, and then Hashem is Shoresh Shchinaso Sham. That's what endows the place with its Kedusha. It is not inherent. Yeah, Hashem's going to choose, but then we have to act. And what we do is what endows the place with Kedusha. Har Grizim, Har Eval, they don't have Kedusha. And yes, you can visit Shechem and take a look, but there's no inherent Kedusha. Har Sinai, the place where the Torah was given, doesn't have Kedusha. We, with our outlook, with our Bapeh, being Makadesh something, I can go ahead and take this glass and make it Hekdesh. It's an ordinary glass, but my Amira, what I do, has the capacity to make this Hekdesh. I have an animal. We're just finishing Maseches Bechoros in Daf Yomi. I go ahead and declare this the Meiser Behema. Now it has Kedusha. And that is something very, very unique. We endow things with Kedusha, our contribution, our attitude. And that's something so fundamental. At the Akedah, Percha Beis, Pasuk Dalig, you take a look at the Chumash, and Avram says, you see that cloud. Chazal Rashi brings us down, the Medrash brings it down. You see that cloud, you see what it is. You see Hashem guiding us. Avram saw it. Yitzchak saw it. Yishmael did not see it. Eliezer did not see it, so you stay back. You have to look at the world with a certain sense of vision, with certain eyeglasses. You can look at Eretz Yisrael today and see tremendous Kedusha, or you can see the opposite. And we have the ability, with our vision, to be Makadesh. The Misonanim, the Asaf Suf in Parshas Beha'alotcha, the Meraglim, at least 10 of them, in Parshas Shlach, they looked at things with a certain jaundiced set of eyeglasses, lacking that Kedusha, lacking that koach of being Makadesh. And we know what happened. Others, Kalev, Yehoshua, Moshe Rabbeinu, are able to look at things for what they truly are. Have the ability to take a situation which could go one of two ways and be Mekadesh, uplift, elevate. So that's a lesson that I wanted to go ahead and share, is our ability to look at things that are fundamentally neutral and be Mekadesh them. It's we who endow Yerushalayim with a sense of Kedusha. We endow Eretz Yisrael. We have Peiros, that we go ahead and we're Mafresh, Chumos, and Maisos. We make it Kadosh. Yontif, we are the Mekadshim. Shabbos, we add a layer of Kedusha and we make Kiddush on Shabbos. And that is our mission. That's our challenge. That's perhaps the failure of Vayiham K'misonanim, the failure of the Meraglim, that they weren't able to do so. Wishing everyone an optimistic Shabbos, a positive outlook, and a beautiful, beautiful day.